Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven aka Storm and we are back for some more of the Elder Scrolls Online as Reewish the Mighty Battle Lizard. How's everyone doing today? Sorry, just a little bit phlegmy this morning. I'm going to quickly send out the invites to get people in the chat. We'll be getting started directly. Just hold a moment. Sorry for the delay. Alrighty, let's get going. So today we're going to start out by doing some of the side quests, and then we'll try to get back onto the main quest wagon, and then we're going to end the stream today by doing the holiday quest that I was talking about last week.
Come here. Outsider, I fear for my wife, my Gwenaël. A group of Firesong druids attacked our home in Ifray's path. I managed to escape the slaughter, but Gwenaël's still in there. I tried to go back for her, but the path has grown more dangerous.
More dangerous than the Firesong druid attackers?
Yes, Outsider. Animals lash out. The spirit motes that once inspired us blanket the land in a thick fog. The spirit of the path may be injured or frightened. I do not know what the Firesong want or how they turn my home against me.
Tell me about the spirit of the path.
The spirit of Ifray's path. We call it the Chronicle. We Eldertide made our home here to care for and tend to the spirit. Outsider, I'm trusting you. I'm putting my wife's safety in your hands. Help me find her, and I will see you well rewarded.
I'll help you find your wife.
The entrance to the path is just over there. I'll meet you on the steps down into the Sacred Valley. There we can find out what happened to my Gwenaël. But first, let me bless you against the dangers within.
Tell me more about the threats inside.
Besides the Firesong druids, the very air is thick with spirit motes. You'll see them once we enter the valley. The worst are the animals, though. They frighten me.
What animals?
Crocodiles, wolves, ursocs, among others. The animals in the path are usually docile. We feed them, care for them. Now they attack without provocation. For things to be so out of balance, it goes against my understanding of nature.
Could the Firesong druids be responsible for all this?
It started after their attack. But I've never seen a druid who could control the spirit motes before. Only the Chronicle commands them. Chooses when to release them, and what story they carry. I have no clue what's happening here.
You and your wife are Eldertide druids?
Yes. We're members of the Eldertide Circle. You're fortunate that I need your assistance. Outsiders aren't usually permitted to set foot in our sacred sites. But Ifray sent you, so who am I to question that?
How many druid circles are there?
3. Eldertide, Stonelaw, and Firesong. Stonelaw are adequate druids, but they stay close to betraying the true way. Accepting outsiders? The Firesong are reclusive, but they never attacked other druids before.
Why do you keep calling me an outsider?
You're not a druid. You don't belong on the Sisters Archipelago. Still, I'll set aside my animosities for Gwenaël. She's my bubbling spring. She soothes the burns of life and cools my harsh temper. We need to save her.
How do you know she didn't escape too?
I've been searching the perimeter of the path since the attack, and I've seen no one else. I can't believe I left without her. If I'd only stopped to see if she followed, she'd be safe. If she dies, I'll never forgive myself.
What is this place exactly?
Ifray's Path is a sacred place, with a small community of druids to look after it. Ifray set the spirit here, the one we call the Chronicle. It shares stories with us, shows us events that happened long ago.
How does it show you these stories exactly?
Through the blessings of the spirit motes. Ifray is the storyteller. All of nature comes from Ifray, but so do our tales and songs. The Chronicle utilizes both aspects of its creator.
Spirit motes?
Particles released by the Chronicle. Normally we breathe in the gift of the spirit and experience the story it wishes us to see. A vision, you might call it. Perfectly safe. Except I've never seen such large clouds of spirit motes before.
Alright, let's get on to it.
Oh, Ifray, let no overcast skies or snaring vines cloud the intention of our thoughts.
Welcome to Ifray's Path. Ooh,
Storms
gracious.
of mercy, the motes are even thicker now.
The fire song, they've come to kill us. This may very well be the last record of Druid Senna. It's not my best work, but what Death Letter is. My instinct served me better than my poor friends and family when the fire song attacked. I watched their lives extinguish beyond the boulder that hid me from view. The fire song stalked ever closer to my hiding place, their weapons drawn and flames raised high. But the most curious thing happened. The spirit motes, which we all experienced before, cascaded down in a thick blanket over the valley. It settled on the fire song, their shapes all but silhouettes in the fog. They struggled for only a moment before their arms fell to their sides. I thought they'd fall to the floor in a deep slumber, but they marched towards the waterfall and disappeared from view. I don't know what happened to them after that, but it unnerved me. The moat surrounded me and the animals prowl all about. I fear I won't survive this. My account must. Someone must know what happened. The Chronicle. We have to keep it safe. It tells us who we are.
Druid Senna saw the moat cloud form? It's like nothing I've encountered.
The night never yields!
Didier, Vitach, they're all dead. Gwenaël, she's not here. That's some small relief. We found the last notes of Druid Senna and a group of dead Eldertide. But my Gwenaël is still among the missing. What do you think, outsider? What do your non-Druid senses tell you?
The spirit motes mentioned in Druid Senna's note. You said they behave differently?
Yes, the Chronicle grows plants called muse mouths, which release a small amount of spirit motes when we commune with it. The motes show us the stories. They've never threatened or harmed us before, and they never appeared as great clouds either.
So, why is the cloud of motes dangerous?
Other than the thick concentration, I'm not sure. Druid Senna mentioned that the fire song caught in the fog lowered their weapons and then marched off as if in a trance. This is very strange.
Hey, your wife wasn't among the dead Eldertide we found.
No, but the others all lived in our community. And from the looks of it, they were killed by the Fire Song attackers. They must have been surprised. There are no Fire Song druids among the dead. But there's also no sign of my wife.
That's good. It means Gwendolyn might still be, Gwenalyn might still be alive. Didn't Senna's note also mention a waterfall?
Not finding my wife could mean anything. All we know is that she's not here. She could be anywhere. But yes.
Hey Joe, welcome to the stream.
Let's go check the waterfalls to the north. That's where Druid Senna's note said the Fire Song druids went after the spirit modes descended.
Is there any significance to the waterfalls?
The waterfalls? I'd rather not discuss the waterfalls. That area is very private, not a place for those outside our circle. Still, if that's where the Fire Song druid went, we need to check.
We haven't seen any Fire Song druids yet.
There were a lot of them in the raiding party. They must be somewhere. Come on. The waterfall's on the north wall of the valley. Let's keep looking.
Yeah, I haven't started the Lust Artifact quest yet, Joe. I was waiting for you to join us before I did. So after I finish this quest, we'll go do that quest next. I figured that it might be inspirational for Duskwing stuff, so I figured you'd definitely want to see it. So.
Any battle we can walk away from, eh? Rage! Dear Lord, get it out!
Talk to her, outsider. This won't hold her long.
Must go.
That's an excellent question. We'll have to try to...
It calls me.
Unfortunately, even though it's an M-rated video game, we don't get to see them actually like doing the deed or anything like that. So that would go into adult-only territory or like XXX game rating territory. So, speaking of, well, I was trying to. That's what I was kind of doing with my that roleplay that I suggested. Oh, we'll get to see some of the effects, but like. I'm trying to think of exactly how to explain it. You'll see. And as for getting back to roleplays, yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to do when I put forward the idea of the Tiefling family. That would be like a good stepping stone to get back into it for me. So, and then we can try to figure out exactly where we want to pick up because we've got so much going on. It's like, what are you talking about? Join who?
The spirit of the path. It calls to us. We must go. Defend it. Protect it.
What do you need to defend the spirit from?
Attack. Frightened. It needs us. It must be defended. Defend! Defend!
That is an excellent point, yeah.
Not in there. Right. Over here, outsider.
Elder.
It appears that the spirit motes do more than just tell us stories, outsider. That Fire Song druid's mind was clearly being influenced, if not outright controlled. But why is the Chronicle doing this? It never exhibited hostile behavior before.
Why aren't the spirit motes affecting us in the same way?
The blessing I bestowed upon us before we set out must be keeping the motes at bay. Given the power we just saw, I'm not sure how much longer that protection will last. I suppose you'll need to accompany me into the tunnels.
Tunnels, is that what you were hesitant about? That there are tunnels hidden behind the waterfall?
It is a sacred place, outsider. The tunnels lead to ritual chambers, the Muse-Mouth plants, and to the spirit of the path, the Chronicle. Hopefully, my Gwenale is also somewhere inside.
Let's head inside then. That's not ominous at all. The Eldertide Druids keep the grounds of Y'ffre's path free of any outside influence. In this sacred area, animals are docile, and the Eldertide brook no unwelcome intrusions. You know, if I was to put a D&D spin on the the druid circles. I would have to say the Elder Tide are probably Circle of the Moon, because of their connection with animals and nature in general. And then I would have to say Stone Lore is probably Circle of the Land, because they nurture the land, and also they're more open to outsiders than other circles. And then the other one, the Fire Song, probably Wildfire would be the one that I would go for. You know, burning away the old to allow new life to form. It's a forest wraith. It's like a Spriggan on crack.
Guard up, get moving.
Or rather, skooma probably would be a better term since we're in the Elder Scrolls universe.
It has a story to tell us, outsider. I can sense it. Examine the plant. My gift to you.
I hate when it does that.
Tell us how to access the Chronicle, or this is your fate.
No! How could you?
Gwinnell. And the Chronicle. Did you see it too? The spirit is trying to tell us something. Ifray's bones. What happened to the Chronicle?
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
Outsider, this is the Chronicle. The spirit we commune with. But it's grown dark. Can you feel the anger radiating from it? The sadness? I don't like the looks of this.
Why would the Chronicle feel sad?
The Chronicle's always been more emotional than other nature spirits. It comprehends the experience of mortals and feels our emotions vicariously through the stories it shares. I've felt its calm, its joy, and even its grief. But this...
We saw the Fire Song kill Eldertide druids. Could that have something to do with this?
Perhaps. But there's a depth to this emotion I've never felt before. It unnerves me. Let's hurry. My Gwinnell is in here somewhere, and my fear for her safety grows with every passing moment. The door is just over there. Another Musemouth plant. I sense the Chronicle has more to show us.
You refuse to give us Ifray's gift? Very well. We will just kill you and take the Chronicle.
We can't just give you the Chronicle. The spirit is bound to this sacred place.
Then we'll cut the Chronicle from the roots and... What's happening?
Spirit notes.
Spirit mote saved Gwinnell? But why do the Fire Song want the Chronicle? The Chronicle blessed us with another vision. We saw the Fire Song attack Eldertide, threaten us to gain possession of the Chronicle. All this bloodshed. That could explain why the spirit feels so guilty. But the motes, it saved Gwinnell.
How did the Fire Song druids learn about the Chronicle?
Nature spirits, especially ones as strong as the Chronicle, are known among the circles. While the Fire Song rarely leave Ifalon, they've always been aware of our spirit. Some even traveled here to partake of its stories.
Why would the Fire Song Druids try to take the Chronicle?
Obviously, the Chronicle is capable of more than we ever gave it credit for. Recording and showing recent events, influencing the minds of people and animals. But why druids would want access to that kind of power, I can barely speculate.
The Fire Song are trying to gather the sacred seeds from the other circles. Could this be related?
They want our sacred seed? Whatever for. It doesn't matter. If they wanted to learn more about the sacred seeds, then the Chronicle would be a good entity to ask. It must have stories from the age of the last Druid King.
I mean, to be fair, like, when you look at the forest wraith, it's like, does it not look like it's a Spriggan on crack? You should imagine it's like going up to all its Spriggan sister and they're like, y'all bitches, got some good stuff we smoked last night, y'all.
Side by side. We fought
The
well.
spirit motes are thick here, but I have an idea.
I hesitate to know what your idea
Such
is.
a high concentration of spirit motes is dangerous. The blessing won't protect us from this. Worse, vines seal the doors beyond. I think I have an idea, though.
What's your idea for getting past the clouds of spirit motes?
The muse-mouth plants in the room ahead are bloated, spewing out huge clouds of spirit motes. I can remove the vines that block the door, but I'm too old to withstand the motes in such concentrations. Luckily, I have a few vials of Ifre's rain.
What's Yifre's rain?
Purified water from a sacred waterfall. Gwinnell uses it to awaken those who sometimes get lost in the visions. The water causes muse-mouth plants to shrink and close up for a time. Even ones bloated as much as these should react the same way.
Alright. Oh, there's another Spriggan on crack. I can't get up there. Now I can. You know what it reminds me of? It looks like the Vampire Lords. The weirdest thing is it looks like a Vampire Lord does. I didn't know nature spirits could become vampires. That's an interesting...
You did it. I'll clear the vines. What's happening over there? Those druids. They're transforming into forest wraiths. How is that? Gwinnell. No, not you, please.
Well, so they're definitely not Spriggans on crack, but
No!
they're druids on crack.
My Gwinnell, my guiding light. We were so close to reaching her, and she slipped through my fingers. The spirit turned her into a forest wraith.
Why did your wife transform into a forest wraith?
Legends tell us that the green and its spirits can summon forest wraiths to protect themselves. The Chronicle felt threatened, so it did the same. I'm not sure if this is how all forest wraiths are created, but we saw what the Chronicle did.
Is it a way to return your wife to her original form?
Possibly. The Chronicle transformed Gwenaëlle into one of those things. It should be able to turn her back and return her to me. I know I've asked a lot of you, but please, come with me. We need to talk to the Chronicle. Convince it to release her.
I'll help you find Gwendolyn and talk to the Chronicle.
All right, outsider. Let's go find my Gwenaëlle and convince the Chronicle to transform her back into my beloved wife.
How about we reach... how we tell which forest wraith is actually her?
The newly created wraiths went farther into the tunnels. We keep moving, and I'm sure we'll meet up with them shortly. As for recognizing my wife, she may be a creature of darkness now, but I know I'll be able to identify her when I see her.
Creature of darkness, creature of darkness. Hey guys, we found the correct farm. Woo! At least Fire Song like, where's the crack, y'all? Look, I'm not saying that because they're druids they have to be high as hippies, but that they are probably high as hippies.
You're always striving to learn something new. One of my favorite things about riding with you.
Because the difference between the druids and the wood elves is the wood elves aren't allowed to harm plants, which means they can't smoke the funny weed. But there's nothing saying the Fire Song can. Actually, I don't even know if marijuana exists in the Elder Scrolls universe.
More bloated things, mouth.
For High Isle!
Use Ifray's rain on these as well.
Just a hidden trunk with a lockpick back there. That's weird. Hey! That's not fun. Guess it's time to kick it up a notch. Ah, it's another forest wraith! I don't have any crack, leave me alone! Do I perhaps have a bottle of his sap? You bet your butt I have a bottle of his sap. Do I just let anybody have it? Nope. That's 2 down, 2 to go. Whee! Three down, 1 to go.
This way. I'll deal with the door.
Whee! I just love how fandoms work. It's like 2 characters almost kill each other and everyone's like, oh, they gonna bang.
There! That's my Gwen just ahead.
Serve me.
Gwenaëlle.
Stop! Druids spill blood.
no more druids in this story. No more.
Well, the Chronicle's angry.
Outsider, the Chronicle won't talk to me. You must convince it to let us go.
Druids attacked. Why spill blood on holy ground? Afraid, confused. Actions come as waves crashing against the shore.
I don't understand.
Story unclear. Tell again. Druids of the path attacked. Killed. Chronicle shocked. Angry. Spirit motes released. Cannot hold back the wind. Created wraiths to defend the path. Lost control. Cannot stop.
There must be some way to stop this.
Roots corrupted by blood. Anger. Bindings tainted. Spirit unwell. The Chronicle must end. Use Ifray's rain on roots. Break bindings. Cleanse corruption. End the story.
Will that release the druids from the moats and revert the race back to normal?
It is the only way. Pour the sacred water. Close the current book. End the anger, the sorrow, the mistakes. This is what the Chronicle wants. What the story needs. Please.
Alright, I'll pour your face rain on the roots.
Please, Gwen. I know you're in there. Just hold on.
Pretty sure this is sacrilege to an Argonian, but...
One last book to close. Pour the remaining water on the spirit orb.
Gwenelle, you're back.
Hitov? What happened?
Everything is fine, Gwenelle. Outsider, come. We owe you so much.
It's so sweet, isn't it, Isabel? She punches me in the shoulder. Ow, it hurt, Isabel.
I can hardly believe my eyes. My Gwenelle, as radiant as the day I first set eyes upon her. I thought I lost her. But the Chronicle, the spirit of the path, what a terrible price to pay to set things right.
The Chronicle told me to pour Ifray's rain on the roots in the spirit orb.
You did what it asked of you, what you had to do, but don't despair. I felt its anger slip away. Its intentions were pure, Outsider. Things just got out of hand. It was the actions of the fire song that tainted the spirit, corrupted it.
It said it was defending the path.
It used its motes to try to stop the fire song, created the wraiths to protect our home. But it knew it went too far. Like a bee whose sting causes its own death. It reacted in desperation. I hope it finds peace now, back in the green.
Will your wife be alright?
Yes, Gwen is strong. She'll recover quickly. But she would have been lost to me without your help. Please, accept this. You ended a great danger and rescued my Gwenelle from a terrible fate. I just wish the Chronicle was still with us. We may have lost the Chronicle, but my Gwenelle is safe. And all because Ifray chose to send me an outsider. Life is strange, my friend.
What will become of Y'ffre's path without the Chronicle?
We'll rebuild. Ask more Eldertide to join us. For too long, we've relied on the Chronicle to show us our past, to tell us our stories. It's time for us to take responsibility for our own memories, I think.
Is Y'ffre's path safe now?
It will be, once the spirit motes disperse and the remaining Firesong are driven off. Without a spirit, Gwen and I will become the chroniclers. We'll remember and record our stories and our history. Share it with all who wish to hear.
All right.
Did all that really happen? The Firesong, the forest wraiths.
The Chronicle saved you, in its own way.
It was angry. That much I remember. The bloodshed. Our friends.
We'll grieve for them, and for the Chronicle. We lost a lot this day.
The Chronicle is really gone?
Its final act was to release you, dear Gwen.
What now, husband?
Now, we thank Y'ffre and tell our own stories.
Alright, well, it's time to leave. We have fulfilled our purpose here and saved someone else. Also, we returned a man and his wife to each other, so that's a thing. Oh, this actually put us out right near where we wanted to go anyway, so we'll just pop up here and get the location, but we're not going to do the thing here just yet. I want to get the other side quest done and out of the way before we continue the main story, so...
If that ship leaves Windbreak,
how do I get up there? Up there, that's got to be the way. Grab the way shrine, we're off to the next quest. Woo! They see me riding, they hating. They say lizards can't ride on elk. My trip outside may have been ill-advised.
vibrant green.
Interesting. Wait, is that it? Yes, that's it, right there.
I'll be right back. I've never met anyone like you before.
Great. I mean, same. Meeting a sea elf like you, that is. Are you here to woo me as well? Oh, not that I'd mind. No, wait, I mean... can I start over? That sea elf keeps bothering me.
then my partner Mindior vanished. It's left me a bit unbalanced. I might need to do this job without him.
What's your job here?
Those sea elves in Lanshara found a druid relic. Our employer wants us to procure it, quietly. Without Mindior, this job will take more time. And the longer I stay here, well, it could get loud.
Why would it take more time without your partner?
He knows something about the relic, but wouldn't share. I can't look for him and also search the camp. I'd need 2 of me. Say, would you like to help? With both of us, we could do this. You can keep whatever you find, aside from the relic.
I'll help you find your partner and acquire the druid relic.
You and I working together solves a lot of problems for me. If we find Mindior, great. He can tell us what he knows about the relic. If not, then we've spent that time looking on our own. Efficient. So, we should split up.
Alright, what do you want me to do?
Why don't you track down Mindior? If I find him, I'll be very cross that he left me alone, and shouting won't help anything. Also, not to offend, but I haven't seen you in action yet. I trust myself to scout around without being noticed.
Where should I look for your partner?
I saw him follow a woman through a door right here, and here's our camp. We can meet there after you find him. Try to stay out of sight. If a guard sees you, look for a hiding spot. I'd rather not alert the whole settlement.
Tell me more about yourself, Quinn.
Not much to tell. I'm new to this whole, thing. The, procurement world. Just trying it on for size, I suppose. Of course, being spotted by that sea elf isn't an auspicious
By the way,
start.
she has a completely different conversation with you if you've done the Thieves Guild questline, because you know Quinn from that line. So she's like, "Hey, it's my old friend. Like, you know how this is done. I don't need to tell you how to do this." It's like, how did you get this job?
I found a broker who handles this kind of work. He gave me the details after some convincing. They don't trust new people right away. Didn't help that I embarrassed myself at first. I tried sounding shady, but that's not really how they talk.
How did you meet this guy?
The broker liked my drive, but not my lack of experience. So he teamed me up with Mindior. I hope I don't let him down by losing my partner. That's bad for a reputation.
What did the sea elf tell you earlier?
He wouldn't stop complimenting me. My looks, my personality. I'd barely said a word to him. Usually I appreciate such kind words, but it's strange when a sea elf does it. He was just a little too friendly.
What do you mean, too friendly?
Sea elves aren't known for their warmth. He just caught me spying on his settlement. I thought I had a fight on my hands. Instead, he flattered me, then ran off. I hope this doesn't ruin the job.
You're already starting to see the relic at work, Joe, by the way. Were you told anything about the druid relic?
All the job broker said was that the sea elves recently found it. He told us the relic was in Lanshara, but that's it. Not even a description. Maybe we'll learn more as we search the settlement.
What do you know about Lanshara?
Beautiful, isn't it? If this wasn't a job, I'd like to take in the sights. It was an old druid settlement. Since they don't keep records, no one knows what they used it for. At some point, the sea elves moved in. Now they live here enjoying the sun.
Why did the sea elves take Lanshara?
Sea elves typically stay private, aggressively so. These dread sails are different. They just do whatever they want. Look at this place. Wouldn't you move in if you could?
It may have been used similar
Check
to the
where
way
I
the
marked you up.
Brightthroat tribe works
hope
in.
you will
It may have been similar to how the Brightthroat tribe works in Murkmire, where they have like all the children of the different clans. Like people will come from the different clans and have children with the Brightthroats. Maybe that's what this place was for, and the relic would get them in the mood, and they would sleep together and have children that were, from both circles.
That's the end that tale.
You notice there's not a lot of guards sneaking around. We've found exactly one guard so far. Or two, perhaps. There's two more now.
Is that you, dear? I still need rest.
Here's the next evidence of that the relic is at play. Hold on.
No more, my sweet. Just need some rest. So energetic. Quite wore me out.
Ilian Mendor, Quinn needs your help with the job.
Quinn, job? Oh, that can wait, lovely. I'm quite thirsty. Could you bring me the water bucket? Oh, you wore me out.
Well, somebody needs a wake up, and not from a drink of water.
What the? You're not Neri. Who are you?
No kidding, I'm not Neri.
Why did you go and do such a thing? Now I'm all wet. I was so happy. Happy and sore, but you ruined it. I expected a sea elf. A beautiful, sensuous, vigorous sea elf. Instead it's you. Where did you come from?
Quinn sent me to find you. She believes you know something about the relic.
The relic? Oh, my head. I can't remember. Sea elf wine. So strong and so sweet. Wait. Yes. I heard Neri had information. She found me when I followed her. Oops. Hold on. Still tipsy.
What happened after she found you?
Not what I expected, truth be told. She dragged me in here. Now, I am very, very sore. Oh, the note. Someone delivered it. After. Neri cursed and ran out. It's on the table. Maybe read it? I can't. My eyes are blurry.
Sounds like somebody had a good time. Neri, you seem preoccupied, but conserve some energy for your actual duties. Minohel wants those fools, Alurian and Lenawis, locked up until we figure out exactly what they did. They're in the old druid rooms where we usually lock up drunk and disorderly sailor until they sober up. Do a pass now and again. Make sure they haven't killed each other before the sea witches can do it. They need to stay alive and in reasonable health for now. Minohel keeps going on about needing to keep them alive to revert whatever it is they triggered. One moment she's raging about them being idiots, the next she suddenly turns thoughtful. My soul to the sea, I found myself attracted to her right then and there. Usually she scares the salt from my skin. What idiot finds an ancient relic in a place where druids perform their disgusting rituals and thinks it would be a good idea to try and to use it? By the way, should I be jealous of your new toy? Morig.
I'm still wet and really cold. I don't like it, friend of Quinn's. Quinn friend. What's the note say? It made my delightful Neri leave.
The note says 2 people used an ancient relic.
Let me see. Right. It's coming back. I heard Neri guarded it, the relic. I followed her. We came here. She grumbled about this. Said 2 idiots went where they didn't belong. Activated it. Her anger made things more fun.
Did Neri mention the location of the relic?
No, but hey, now we know 2 people who can tell us. Minahel locked them in a cell on the beach. Maybe they're mad about that. Let's see if they'll tell us something. I'm pulling it together, but I still need a moment. I'll meet you at the cell.
Alright, I'll go and talk to some imprisoned sea elves.
Oh, standing hurts. My arms hurt, my everything hurts. I really miss Neri. Oh, right, she could come back soon. Talk fast if you have questions. Otherwise, I'll meet you at the cell on the beach. I'll ask those sea elves about that relic.
Did you learn anything else while you had Neri's attention?
I learned a great deal. Wait, you mean about the job? I've told you what I remember. Neri's a god. Two idiots, an activated relic, whatever that means. The Sea Elves are typically private types, hard to read and keep to themselves.
Do people usually behave like Neri towards you?
I wouldn't call myself unlucky in such affairs.
We need to
But
work this
no,
in. I
not
thought so,
typically.
yeah.
I don't know why. Look at me. Maybe I'm just too intimidating. Yes, that must be why I attracted Neri. Oh, she is so very strong.
You said she dragged you in here?
She caught me hiding behind some rocks. We locked eyes. As she approached, I knew I should run. But something about her look, it kept me still. When she grabbed my collar, I thought I was dead. Until she kissed me. Hard. Then we came here.
The note mentions sea witches. What do you know about those?
I think they're Sea Elf religious figures. Or magic leaders? Honestly, I can only guess. I didn't think I needed to read up on them before I came here. Maybe Neri can tell me more when we're together again. If we have time.
Do you know anything about Lasara?
Old Druid settlement, I think. Makes sense based on the name, though the whole island was Druids. Now the Dread Sails are here. Wonder what their plans are.
What can you tell me about yourself?
Sure, I'm a little drunk on strong wine, and an even stronger woman. But not so much to tell a stranger my secrets. You should know, on this kind of job we keep to ourselves. Plus you got me all wet. Not even sure I even like you.
Look, I had to wake you up.
I found my shirt.
Stendar see you safely to your rest.
No need to choose.
They should be somewhere around here.
What's this? Here for a frolic?
No. I'm quite recently taken.
Come, my dear. These sweet strangers could help. Oh, hello there. Aren't you a tasty-looking treat? Please, ignore Reewish. His jealousy won't interfere with you and I. Give us the key over there and maybe all four of us could go somewhere private. We don't deserve this treatment anyway.
Tell me about the relic you found, then I'll help you.
Ah. The Sea Witches found a druid shrine inside a buried cavern. They think it's dedicated to, passion. The relic was inside. Reewish and I heard that people felt warm and excited when they got close. It intrigued us.
What did you do?
While everyone slept, we snuck in. Standing near the relic felt so incredible. We decided to have a little passion of our own. After, we noticed the relic glowing. That's when Minahel stormed in and dragged us out. We just wanted to have some fun.
Where's the relic now?
The Sea Witches threw us in here to punish us. So as far as I know, the relic is still in the cavern. You can find it up on the cliffs. But now that incredible feeling has spread to all the Dread Sails, I don't see why they're angry.
I'll get the key, then head to the Druid Cavern.
The Druid Cave is up the cliffs, to the west. Perhaps when you finish whatever you're doing, we can meet up again. You could join Reewish and I. Watch for that tyrant Minahel. She doesn't want anyone to have fun.
Will you and your partner be safe when we free you?
Well, sweetling, Dread Sails don't survive for long if they can't deal with some rough treatment now and again. But Minahel had to ruin our fun. I want to go again. Reewish and I did nothing dangerous. Minahel can go rot in the sun.
Where will you two go now?
No point in me telling you that. I suspect you'll underestimate Minahel and get yourself captured. The less you can tell her, the better the chance my beloved and I can make it safely away from here.
Who were the Sea Witches you mentioned?
They're a bunch of sticks in the sand. Just some elves who think they're above the rest of us because of their connection to the sea. Minahel's the worst of them. So strict. We're the Dread Sails, no masters. Well, unless you want one.
Unless you want one.
Head to that cavern. I'll deal with their release. So those two activated the relic with their little romp? I suppose that explains the Sea Elves' more lusty behavior. And here I thought it was me. I can release them if you go find the Druid Chamber. Let's hope no one moved it.
Do you think the relic will still be there?
I suppose it may be too much to ask they left the blasted relic where they found it. We could grab it, get out of here, then be done with this whole thing. Oh, I wish I could think straight.
What do you think of their story?
The one where they frolicked so hard that they spread good feelings to every sea elf in Lanshara? Incredible. Honestly, I feel grateful. Because of them, I had a delightful romp.
I'll meet you at the Druid Cavern.
Just because you free us doesn't mean you can touch my Elorian.
Hush, Laniwis. They kept their word. And 3 could be fun.
I completely missed there was words there. Sorry about that. Well, there's nothing here now.
No relic. Could you search for clues? Climbing those rocks winded me.
See if there's any other druid trinkets that other idiots like Illirin and Lerowis might stumble over. We had to put Anakil to sleep for now. The effect of the relic took him rather quickly. He foolishly touched up with his bare hands. If you start to feel strange, leave the chamber. Perhaps walk around the waterline. Fresh air and breeze may help mitigate the effects. We're working on some things to stave off the worst of the urges the relic seems to cause. We will find a way to suppress the relic's power. In fact, we may be close to a more permanent solution to deal with the relic's effects, but it's taking some time. Stay clear of the dread cells as much as possible. Their regular discipline keeps the effects reasonably in check, but we don't want to tip the balance before the solution we're working on can be finished.
This Minahel person truly hates joy.
Yeah, but if they were all just laying around screwing each other all day, they wouldn't get anything done. Ritual of life's commencement. All life exists because life existed before it. We celebrate the joyful creation of all living things and encourage the full indulgence thereof. At the proper time, the ritual shall commence with the joining of the guild of the guiding pair. Their example shall procreate. No, is that procreate? Propagate? I can't pronounce that. Propagate like seeds on the wind. Passion shared its life's reward. For the next lunar cycle, we embrace this power. Once completed, it shall depart fulfilled. So basically,
seems the druids understood a good time.
So basically, how it propagate. Okay, so basically, the two of them would have sex in front of the relic, and then everybody would start having sex. And I assume that was like a making new life, having a bunch of babies type thing. So everybody bred, everybody got pregnant. There's another thing I haven't found yet. Oh yeah, this is definitely where the relic was.
I wonder what this old carving means. Well, we didn't find the relic. Shame. I'm tired of all this walking around, and I want to go back to Neri's room. That carving does look druidic, so we know this is the right place. Anything useful from what you collected?
The ritual says it lasts a lunar cycle. Sounds
fun, but also distracting. Imagine the effects of carrying it through Vastir. No, eventually we need to get paid. There must be a way to stop it.
Minel's note mentioned a way to control the relic's effects.
Perfect. I love when others do the work. We can lift whatever Minahel has made, then use it to safely carry the relic. We have a camp outside Lanshara to the northwest. Let's head there. If Qwen's back, she might have thoughts on how to proceed.
Let's go talk to Qwen.
Let's separate. See you back at our camp.
Let's go.
did they do to you? You look exhausted.
What did they do to you?
I had a quite rigorous discussion. Very productive.
Rigorous discussion, very productive, yes.
Good, you're here. And you found Yumindior. Based on his state, I can guess why he went missing. He mentioned you found something. A ritual cave? Did you learn something there?
2 sea elves activated the relic. It makes them amorous. Minahel has a plan to dampen its effects.
Oh, remember Veshin, the sea elf, when you found me? That explains his advances. Oh, I have mixed feelings about that. We can't take the relic from Lanshara while it's still affecting people. But I know how to learn the sea elves' plan for it.
What's your plan?
I'll ask Veshin to join me for a picnic. Get him relaxed. You bring some delicacies while I turn on the charm. I saw some blue-backed silk crabs in the tide pools. Grab some and meet me at that nice grotto to the east. I'll entice Veshin to join me.
Oh, go and find the silk crabs.
Don't worry, Veshin won't refuse my offer. I barely shook him loose to come back here. Plying him with food and drink? A bit riskier. Gather those blue-backed silk crabs in the tide pool and join my little date. I have to practice my seduction skills.
Where did you get food and wine?
I skulked around as many sea elf homes as I could while you found Yumindior. Looking for the relic, of course. But don't blame me if I picked up a little extra.
Why not get your partner to find some other delicacy as well?
He didn't go into detail about what happened to him, but he keeps complaining about how sore he is. He doesn't seem all that reliable. Honestly, I'm not so sure how good a thief he even is.
What happened during your scouting?
Not much. Seems like you had all the luck. A lot of Dreadsale stuff doesn't seem that valuable. I did accidentally see a lot of sea elves, together. I thought it strange that so many of them seemed busy. Now I understand.
Yes, busy with quotation marks.
On the move.
Oh, you're so smart. Tell me again about that druid thing.
It radiates a gentle warmth, much like yourself. Oh, wonderful! A third to join our little get-together. This has turned out to be quite a delightful day. Well, I truly have eyes for this fine lady. A little extra spice never hurts. Come, sit. We're just beginning to relax.
Your friend told me you'd like these.
Blue-back silk crabs. Oh, isn't she a delight remembering my love for them? Now I have 2 delicious creatures before me. You know I'm a sea witch. Quite a powerful one. Would you like to see my power? I think I'll soon be stronger than Minahel.
Impressive. Where did you practice your skills?
We have a chamber of study up along the cliffside. Allows us to watch the other dreadsails from above. View is quite beautiful. Perhaps you two could join me. I impressed Minahel so much, she honored me with a key to our inner caves.
Let me discuss your skills with my friend.
Please excuse us, Veshin. I have a request for my friend. We're doing great. Veshin's relaxed and bragging. Exactly what we want. Also, have you noticed how handsome he is? He already let slip that he has a key. Eventually, he'll spill their plan to control the relic. I think we need some silver bloom.
What's silver bloom and how do I find it?
A rare silver flower that's considered a delicacy by the sea elves. Grows on certain trees near the beaches in this part of the island. Lucky for us, I saw some just southwest of here, up the hill a bit. I took note of it while scouting.
Berishan said the sea witch is studying some caves here.
I heard if we can get him to tell us how to contain the relic, we can sneak into the caves and grab it. Go get the silver bloom. I'll keep him talking with those wet blue lips of his.
I'll be back shortly. Quinn, we need you to focus.
You minx?
There'll be plenty of time for you to do naughty stuff after we've completed our mission. We'd already have lost one of our people to the sex with CL, so we don't need to lose another.
Ooh, sea witches can craft magic items. I must know what kind.
I'll tell you anything you want, just to stay here with you. Silver bloom, a rare treat. My shimmering sea blossom knows me so well. She is just wonderful. And you're wonderful too. You really should sit, relax, maybe shed some armor.
Maybe shed some armor. I love how that last line sounds a little harsh. You said that you're training as a sea witch. What magic can you do?
We assign tasks, perform rites, do some healing. I focus on defending Lanshara from intruders. No one escapes my notice. I just told our lovely friend about a relic we found. It has affected some of our weaker crew, not me. I'm too strong-minded.
He's too strong-minded, Joe. Did you hear that? What do you plan to do about the relic?
Minahel found a solution. Naturally, I'm the one who inspired her. We infused her ship's sailcloth with a counter-magic spell. It's quite complicated, but covering the relic should muffle the effect. Then our brethren can return to their labors.
Impressive, we both think so.
I brought one more treat. A bar's special cider.
I guess
Drink
it
up,
must be.
gorgeous.
A toast to... Oh, I failed to ask your name. No matter. Just so potent. I might...
Nighty-night. That can't be comfortable. Falling on your bow like that cannot be comfortable.
Head to camp and tell Umindior what we learned. I should make sure Veshin is comfortable.
Whatever you say. Oh no.
Umindior now? What's the point of having
that
a
was not what I
partner
meant
if
to
they're
do.
never around?
Basically, he went back to Neri, is what he did.
I can't keep chasing after Umindior. We have a job to finish. Good thing I partnered up with someone competent. Let's get back into Lanshara and find that magic-infused cloth Veshin described. The gorgeous, sensual Veshin.
It's like we're about to lose both of them to sea elves. Come on, guys, keep focused. Any idea where to look for this cloth?
Start near the Dreadsail ships to the east. Look for anyone weaving cloth into a covering of some sort. I'll scout the upper cliffs to find the Sea Witch caves. We'll use the key to slip inside and grab the relic.
I'll look for the magic cell cloth and meet you on the cliffs.
Head east to the ships and find that cloth. And try to keep it quiet. Let's not give the Dreadsail Sea Witches any reason to think someone else wants that relic. Hopefully Umindior doesn't let anything slip in the throes of... whatever.
Whatever. Maybe he was really affected by that activated relic after all.
Oh please, I know what he was affected by. She's a Dreadsail pirate. They're dangerous. He's lucky she didn't just kill him. And now he runs right back into danger? Typical.
Do we need to find him?
Yes, I think so. Abandoning a partner looks just as bad as not completing a job. Umindior found this job, so I might not even get paid without him. But I really want to leave the loaf. I truly do.
head.
Yeah, and you can hear them talking about going to their bunks and stuff, so that's a thing going on right now. I have made a wrong turn somewhere. Isabel, you made me make a wrong turn. Sad thing is there's so many Pokemon in Violet and Scarlet that I want to use. I want to use Deerling. I want to use Pyroar. It just, like, when do you get around to using them is the question. It's like...
Psst, over here. Did you get the cloth? I watched several sea witches come and go through this door. My gut tells me that's the right spot. High above all the other dread sails, just like Veshin said. You still have the key, right? Otherwise we're in trouble.
I have it right here, and I brought the magic cloth to cover the relic.
Then we're ready. Let's sneak in, grab the relic, then leave. The dread sails are still distracted, so as long as we don't cause a ruckus, we should be fine. We've already drawn enough attention to ourselves as it is.
After we get the relic, should we find your partner?
I suppose we must. But only once we have the relic in hand. The buffoon has almost ruined this job a dozen times now. I bet 2 gold that he's exactly where you found him the last time. Alright, ready? Let's go.
Let's go find that relic.
Alright, get the key ready. We're almost done.
How fitting that we sea witches reside in the caves while the others live in the sand. The druids of Lashara infused the stone with power, an old energy that radiates around us. Yes, our place is here.
Had to live in a cave? I'd clean it up more. Well, that looks expensive. Grab it! Wouldn't be a proper thief if we didn't pick up something shiny along the way, right? Oh no, this doesn't belong to the sea elves. Oh, that buffoon!
Do you recognize it?
I sure do. That's Umindior's medallion. He was very proud of it. Earned it in a tribute tournament or something. Seems he followed his... well, not his heart, right into trouble. Let's hurry before those
He followed something. He followed a organ, but it wasn't his heart. Let's go.
Why are you tying me up?
Why are you tying me up? This isn't fun at all.
You've breached our sanctum with those toned muscles of yours.
Looks like the leader has fallen for the relic's power. Those toned muscles of yours. How dare you? I think this is legitimately the start of a porno. Like hero breaks into the bad guy's lair, and the bad guy's lair is like, you invaded my sanctum with your toned muscles and your tight butt.
I guess we know where to find Umindior.
Help! Somebody help!
So we actually missed a line somehow. I don't know how, but yesterday when I was on the way through, she actually said, I am an expert in many forms of torture. The first will be kisses. Which I'm not sure why she assumed as a type of torture, but...
Gwen, help! These ones are sharp! They hurt!
The person I just killed.
I suppose we should cut the lout free.
They have the relic in the other room. Ow! She really hurt me. Through here! The relic is inside.
Come on, let's follow him.
Not so keen about Neri anymore, are you, sir?
Here to find our target. I'll keep watch for more sea witches.
Now, this is very important. Look upon the relic and tell me what you
Come on.
see.
Let's take care of the relic. Toss that magic cloth over it.
Do you know what the significance of this flower is, Joe? That's Debella's flower, the passion blossom. This is a relic of Debella. And why, may I ask, is this an important thing to find out? By the way, there's a phoenix moth. I love the phoenix moths. Why is this an important thing to point out? Because the morphables for 2023 is going to be Debella's passion flower and Muse's Passion's Muse. So we're getting Debella morphables the next season following the quest where we retrieve a lust relic from Debella. Huh. Could that perhaps be a hint to what's going on next year? Very perhaps. Yes. Oh. This is a relic of Debella. Cover it so it can't do its naughty things.
Perfect. Now grab it and let's get out of here. We can talk outside.
I'm surprised we didn't have to douse it in cold water first. Like very, very cold water first. It's like... Alright, first we pour the cold water. Then we cover it with the magic sailcloth. And even then, the water went shh, and most of it evaporated on contact with the relic.
She was no Neri. She hurt me. In a bad way. Are we done?
Yes, we did the job. Thanks for all your help.
What help? He did absolutely nothing.
Finally, it's finished. I can't thank you enough for agreeing to help. Loverboy here was certainly of no use. I suppose it was good practice for thinking on our feet, right?
What happens now with the relic?
Umindio and I will deliver it. Together. I can't let him take a mote of credit. Maybe I can get his cut of the pay, too. Speaking of which, the relic, please.
Of course, here's the relic.
I'll prepare better next time. Study the lay of the land. Maybe ask more questions. I still have a lot to learn about this life. But I do know how to reward loyal partners. This should cover your cut of the payment.
Quite the heist, right, Gwen? Whew, I'm exhausted.
From what? Your antics hardly count as helping.
Yes, well, can you blame me? I was entranced.
You won't touch this relic. Not until we both deliver it.
Yeah, he was not entranced. He was, in fact, enslaved. Alright, so let's pick up where we were on this quest. We're close to the treasure. It's at the roots of a tree, so just have to look around until we find it. I had some trouble finding this one last night, honestly. But I knew I had to find it on my main character before I did it on this one, because I didn't want to spend a half an hour looking for the buried spot, so. The good thing is if you get too far away, he'll say that line again when you get close again. So it's kind of like, you know, hot, cold, like, you know, where you, the game where, like, you know, okay, you're hot, you're cold, you're cold, you're cold, you're hot. Like that kind of game. Who are you?
How does one capture something as beautiful as this vista? Even with magic enchanting my brush, the challenge feels insurmountable.
What are you sketching out here?
What aren't I sketching may be a more apt question. Every direction I look is inspiring. Every ray of light a muse, uncovering this land's natural beauty.
What speaks to you the most?
Once again, you've asked me such a daunting question. Perhaps it's the massive trees that have stood east of Galen for thousands of years. Or maybe the druidic stones with their delicate carvings. Beauties both man-made and natural abound.
Where will you go next?
Wherever my muse takes me. Along the riverbed, through the glen, atop the mountains. There are wonders great and small here. Though I certainly wish I brought more parchment.
There's a lot of red guards in this DLC, I noticed.
Kiko! Treasure, yes! Treasure here! Treasure near! Ah!
Oh, I apparently found it. Okay, there it is. Alright, so we have...
There it is! Just like the riddle said! Guess that wasn't so hard, was it, Kiko? Well, we're 2 riddles further than we were at the start of all this, thanks to you. What's next?
These pieces from the 2 locations seem to make a key.
A key? But to what? Show it to Kiko. Maybe he's got another riddle for us. More was 4 hands. I really didn't think we'd get this far. I'm glad you came along when you did.
What would you have done if I hadn't?
Look, I wasn't going to actually hurt the bird. Really, I couldn't. I'm a pirate. I've slit a few throats. But Kiko? He's never hurt anybody. Our captain would say I'm weak, but I just can't find it in me to treat Kiko the same way she did.
Swayer's weakest! Swayer's weakest! Ah!
I love Kiko. Do you recognize this key, Kiko?
Key! Key! Time for riddle 3! The sun-warmed side of Singer's Path is where you'll find your prize. Hang gloom lantern upon your ship to shroud her from all eyes.
Wait. I think I know where that is.
I know where it is,
key,
too.
So we'll meet you there. Unless you want a hint on where to go.
Nope, I know where to go.
It'd be nice to get off my feet.
But first we're gonna go find the Oaken Forge. Yeah, then we got one more side quest to do, and then it's time to get back to the main quest. Of course, after we finish Riddle 3, I'm going to take my break real quick, refill my water, use the bathroom, stuff like that, and then we'll jump back into the Rosmdar quest, and then we'll get back to the main quest. So, and like I said, I intend to do Bloody Reunion tonight too, because today's the last day we'll be able to do it for the stream. So, if I don't do it today, it's not going to get done. So.
Look familiar, Kiko? Is this the treasure your master hid away all those years ago? Well, is that what I think it is?
I found the Gloom Lantern.
That's really it, isn't it? Just like the legend said. I can't believe it. Well, that's it. I owe you a drink at the very least.
You promised payment as well.
Don't think I've forgotten that. I'm a pirate, but I'm not the type to go back on my word. I just need to secure some funds.
Secure some funds, that's all.
Maybe Kiko can help with that. You hold on to the Gloom Lantern for now, and meet me at the tavern in Vastir.
I'll meet you at the tavern. She's gonna steal the money, basically. So you're okay with this, Isabel? You're okay with me blatantly helping a pirate? I'm actually surprised she didn't have anything to say about this. Oh wait, there's a quest over here. Oh, I know what this quest is.
Into a tree. A tree, Octon!
At least your bark is beautiful. I got turned into a floaty orb thing.
What the heck happened here?
To translate this tablet if I had some quiet. Not now. I'm trying to translate ancient writing off this broken tablet.
What did you two do?
See this? I'm covered in bark. I'm turning into a tree. Druid Fennis is doing his best to determine the nature of the curse, but we're going to need more help. I'd give everything we ever stole to fix this.
Tell me what happened.
My cousin, Octon, over there, that's how this happened. We went to procure equipment from Fawn's Thicket. Octon picked up a stone tablet, but he's as graceful as a drunk sow when he's figuring out our profits. He dropped it and poof!
Poof?
Look at him! We have to break the curse. Druid Fennis is trying to figure out what that entails, but he can't do it alone. I'm covered in bark, and Octon's got no body. We could really use some help. Don't make me beg. Please.
I'll help Druid Fennis figure out how to break the curse.
You're willing to help? That's perfect! I'm not really sure about Druid Fennis, and Octon usually handles the logistics. I was worried I was going to have to rely on myself, and that never turns out well. Talk to the Druid, see if he has any ideas.
If Octon broke the tablet, how come you got cursed too?
Octon's always been the thinker. I'm the impulsive one, so when the tablet broke and Octon disappeared into a ball of energy, I thought he got vaporized. I went to pick up the broken pieces of stone before I even realized what I was doing.
Then what happened?
I started to turn into a tree and I panicked. I suppose Octon took the brunt of the curse since he transformed immediately. I'm changing slowly. Maybe that means the tablet blames me more.
Why would the tablet blame you?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't stop Octon from breaking it, or that we procured it without asking permission.
You stole it.
I don't know how any druid magic works. That's why we asked Fennis to help. He's a druid. He knows about this stuff.
How did you convince Druid Fennis to help you?
He grumbled something about his responsibilities as a Stone Lord druid. If you ask me, I think he's hoping to convince us to give back all the equipment we took. Procured. He probably knows the druid it belongs to. But she left it to rot.
Why would a druid have a cursed tablet?
No idea. Seems fairly irresponsible to me. Anyone could just pick it up, break it, and get cursed. Maybe she wanted to keep people like Octon and me from stealing her research? Druid Fennis said he might be able to help, so we're letting him.
Let's see. Where did you find the tablet?
Fawn's Thicket. Some druid went there to study the fawns and left all her things behind. It's a little old and outdated, but our fence said we could get a good price for whatever we brought him.
You said you were stealing from a druid?
Not stealing. Procuring. That old place is abandoned. The druids are content to just let nature claim it. But there's someone on this island who will pay a lot of gold for some dusty journals and stuff. We couldn't pass up the opportunity.
So it's like salvage.
This adventurer agreed to help us. Does that help solve our problem?
An adventurer, eh? That explains the boots.
I'm wearing sandals.
An adventurer? Come here. I'll tell you how to help.
Alright, I need to go to do my break. I will be back in just a minute and we'll continue from here. Okay, I am almost back. I'm just going to do one more thing real quick. My allergies are acting up kind of bad, so I'm going to have a cough drop, so that way I'm not coughing into the mic every few seconds.
It's good of you to offer to help, outsider. Fire and foliage. That's the key to reversing the curse. If we repair what's broken, then the curse will be lifted. At least, that's what I can make out from the text carved into this stone.
Fire and foliage, what do you mean?
Heat to prepare the sap, and sap to bind the stone. The inscription mentions those two ingredients at length. I'll send Jocelyn to an area outside of Embervine. The lava pools there create fire shards, rocks that retain extreme heat.
What do you need me to do?
Meet Jocelyn near Embervine. I'll give her a spell to retrieve a fire shard, but she shouldn't touch them herself. Even with the spell, she's too flammable in her current state. After that, meet Octon near the sacred tree to the north to get the sap.
And what will you be doing?
I need to continue to work on the translation. There's something about this text. A word I can't translate. From the way the sentence lines up, it's nothing good. This curse is already potent enough. I'm worried about what else it might do.
I'll go and get the fire shard and the sap from the sacred tree.
I hoped that this would be simple, but no. The writing is complex and made all the harder to translate because of the broken stone. Find Jocelyn by the lava pools to the east, near Embervine. Then go north to meet Octon by the sacred tree.
How can you read the text?
It's in an obscure druidic script. Luckily, I've made a study of such writing. This one, however, is different. I have no idea what it was doing with Druid Medena's things. It would be a lot easier if they hadn't cracked the tablet, I assure you.
Who's Druid Medina?
An elder in the Stonelore Circle. She used to study the fauns, but one day she decided she was finished, left all her equipment behind. These two tried to help themselves to it, and look what happened. But I'll figure out how to break this curse.
Why are you helping them?
I resolved to help them before I even knew how this tablet came into their possession. This curse is druidic in nature, so it must be a druid who undoes it. Whatever Jocelyn and Octon's past intentions, they don't deserve this fate.
What do you mean by only a druid can undo the curse?
The writing on the tablet is in an ancient druidic script. It would take a Mages Guild wizard too much time to decipher it and understand the process needed to break the curse. Octon and Jocelyn don't have long before the change becomes permanent.
But they found the tablet while robbing another druid.
I know. It's my sincere hope that they'll return the tablet and anything else they stole once this ordeal is over. And hopefully, this will teach them to avoid druidic sites in the future.
You can but hope. Alright, let's do this first. Because I'm going to have to go into Fawn's Thicket anyways for both the Fawn's Thicket quest and for Razumdar's quest. So we may as well get this set up so it directs us to go into Fawn's Thicket. We can just do all the quests in the area at once. I prefer to do that because it's more optimized than trying to go in there 3 separate times. Like, usually when I'm playing through a DLC, I will figure out the most optimized way to do it, and I'll do that as I'm playing. Like, for example, when I do Western Skyrim, I have 3 different quests that go into Chillwind Depths. I do all 3 of those quests simultaneously, and it saves me a bunch of time.
Over here! Let's talk about getting a fire shard. My ideas rarely work out for the best, but I can tell that getting you involved was one of my better ones. That's a fire shard out there, just what Druid Venice wants. But you'll need to get it. unless you want me to go up like kindling.
How do I retrieve the fire shard?
With the freezing spell the druid gave me. Be careful, there's just the one. Look, I'm not getting close to the lava. Not like this. So you take the spell. It will cool down the fire shard without extinguishing it. Make it safe to carry. For a while.
For a while.
I'm not a druid. How should I know how long the stupid spell will last? Just be quick and everything should be fine. I'll wait right here.
Alright, I'll use the freezing spell to retrieve a fire shard. Wow, it's not kidding.
You did it! Now grab the shard and get back here. I saw how you cast that spell. You're a natural. How's the fire shard? Not too hot, I hope? No, you're not screaming or bursting into flames or anything. The druid spell worked, just like he promised it would.
We have this fire shard. What's next?
Next, I head back to the druid and Fawn's thicket while you go north and meet Ogden. He can point out the sacred tree where you need to gather the sap from.
How does Ogden know which is the right sacred tree?
The druid told him, or maybe he could sense it with his new glowing ball of light abilities. I don't know. All I know is you should hurry to the north and find him. He shouldn't be left alone for too long.
You think Ogden's in trouble?
Ogden's usually really level-headed and focused. You may not believe it, but he's the brains behind all our exploits. Something happened to him, though. More than becoming a sprite. It's like he can't think straight for more than a few moments.
What do you mean?
Just what I said. Whatever happened to his mind when the curse started, it's getting worse. Right now, I'm worried he couldn't remember his own name if his life depended on it. I miss my cousin.
Aww. Suddenly, Sweet Home Alabama starts playing. I just rode right across lava. That was so dumb. Now, you want to see something messed up. It's not up right now, but there's usually a giant monster forest wraith right there. There you are.
Hello! Over here! I'm waving like... Oh, crud.
You don't have hands, Ogden.
The druid said to follow the stream. Or was it the trees? Well, I followed something and I spotted you, so this must be the right spot. I think. I hope. Who are you?
Do you know which of these is the sacred tree?
Sure! I mean, I think so. The trees all look the same, so the sap must be the same too, right? Try that one over there. With those fancy hands of yours, it should be easy to acquire. At least if the forest wraiths don't try to kill you.
Forest wraiths?
Forest wraiths? Where? No, I'm not floating a lichen's width farther. You can fight those horrible forest spirits on your own. You've still got all your limbs after all. The sap tree is just over there in that cave. Don't get squashed like a bug.
You're talking about the spirit wraith, or the forest wraith. That's not a tree, that's a forest wraith. Or, as we like to say here on this channel, it's a Spriggan on crack. This is the sacred tree.
Looking forward to seeing what you make with that.
Hi! Good to see you again. How do I do that, I wonder? See you, I mean. Oh, wait, sap! You were looking for sap. Did you find any?
I have the sacred sap.
What makes sap sacred, I wonder? Druids are so funny. Oh no! Jocelyn! I just remembered. She's turning into a tree! We need to get back to Druid Finis. He's going to save her. And maybe me!
Do you know where we can find Druid Finis, Ogden?
Druid Finis? He's not here. He's back at Fawn's Thicket. But how come the tree didn't curse you? If I took some sap, it would have blasted me 6 ways to Sundas. Sundas? Is it Sundas already? I thought it was still mid-year.
No, it's Sundas already. Yeah, he's very confused. You seem confused, Octon.
Confused? Not that I'm aware of. Oh, you mean the forgetting and the rambling and the weird dreams. I have become a glowing ball of light, you know. This could be perfectly natural for someone in my condition. I deserve it. It's my fault after all.
Why is this your fault?
I dropped the tablet, slipped right through the fingers I no longer have. I broke it. And if Jocelyn hadn't tried to help me, I'd be the only one cursed. But maybe Druid Finis will save us. Druid Finis and you. Let's head back to Fawn's Thicket.
Well, first things first, I have to go talk to Rosendar. Also, we have to turn in the quest with the pirate lady.
These sea elf pirates become more brazen every day. What? Over here. A toast to our success before we conclude our business.
Warning, do not touch cask. The contents of this ale cask is under extreme pressure. Under no circumstances should it be tampered with. You have been warned. I still want to do that. One of these days I'm going to see what happens if I kick that cask.
To the Gloom Lantern. To adventure. To letting no good loot go unplundered. Now, let's get down to business.
I'm honestly surprised she didn't drug me.
Now this is the pirate's life I've always wanted. Freedom, drinks, and good company, and clear horizons. And I suppose you have my plunder?
Here's the Gloom Lantern as promised.
Tava's red feathers. I can't believe it. Not only is the treasure real, but Kiko and I actually put our brains together and finished what we set out to do. Of course, we couldn't have done it without you. Here's your reward, as promised, mate. I sort of thought Kiko would flap off after we found the treasure, but it looks like he's sticking with me. Just as well. Seems like things took a turn for the better once it was just the two of us.
What's next for you?
Besides finishing this drink? Not a clue, my friend. Just spent the last of my ill-gotten gold, so securing a vessel would be our first point of order. And we may have to get creative with how we do that.
Are you still planning to get revenge for your captain and crew?
You know, if it was us that got killed instead of them, they wouldn't have batted an eye, would they have, Kiko? Revenge can find me if it wants to. The only thing I'm looking for now is a ship.
I don't remember this. Hold on. I want to look something up real quick. Okay, he's the guy that we did Ghost Haven bait with. If you ask her in the citrus for an Elis Mall, I know he's looking for a first mate.
Really? I appreciate the lead. First mate! That'd be quite the step up. You hear that, Kiko? We'll make our names as honest pirates after all.
Honest pirates, that's a concept. What are your plans for the Gloom Lantern?
We'll find a ship that deserves us. Then use the Gloom Lantern to pirate and plunder to our heart's content. It's the life I've always dreamed of. Maybe we'll see you out there on the high seas. We'll see you, but you won't see us. Cheers, mate.
Lucky for you if you don't see me, because if I see you, I'll throw a storm at you. It's like, hey, my friend, summons a storm Atronach right onto their boat. How are you doing? As their crew members are being blasted apart by lightning. Can't complain, except for the giant monstrosity of lightning you placed on our boat. Well, I can't help that. Razumdar.
Such an effective distraction. Raz could not have done it better himself. What do you say we continue this collaboration? This one promised you gold, and he would like to make good on his promise.
So you can't pay me right now.
Did this one give you the impression he could? Continue to help the Queen's Eye, and you will be paid handsomely. As handsome as Raz.
What else do we need help? Or what else do you need help with?
Were you not paying attention? To stop a pirate. Redblade is gathering crew and ships to build an armada. They would threaten every port from Alinor to Balmora. Their plan hinges on a secret. A trove thought lost and forgotten.
A trove, like a treasure trove?
Just so. The Acalarius bequest. A ludicrous fortune sent by ship to Galen during the final years of Emperor Varen's reign. It was thought lost at sea, but somehow Redblade has learned its true location.
Couldn't they have already claimed it?
As far as Raz can tell, no. We must find the bequest first. Luckily, this one has a place to start. Another eye, years ago, sought to recover the bequest, and we have her notes. What do you say? Help Raz claim this prize and save the day?
I'll help you. Where do we start?
This one knew you would agree. 90% of the time, Raz's instincts never fail him. You remember the thugs you shook from Raz's tail? We must find them. The tails will become the tailed. Poetic, yes?
Why bother with the thugs? Shouldn't we just find the treasure?
First things first, Five Claw. We must learn what our enemies already know. That means tailing those two back to their boss. Trust Raz. This is his bread and butter. Or cake and jam, which Raz likes better.
Let's follow those thugs then. Wonder if Raz calls you Five Claw if you're playing as a Khajiit.
Damn it! Where did that cat skulk off to? I told you to keep an eye on him.
Yeah. You were there too. What should we tell the boss?
We've got a report in. Well, let's shake loose a few payments first. Maybe he'll go easier on us.
I'll put Isabel away because we have to go into the Outlaw's Refuge, and I don't like the fact that I lose rapport from Isabel from going down there.
Could this be the same group? No way these thugs stopped an eye of the Queen.
It's so much easier when you're playing a Nightblade. You can just go invisible and travel through the city unseen.
These two are criminals, not pirates. Their boss must be working with Redblade then.
I've got a good eye for paint.
Raz begins to see the pieces fall into place, but let's confirm his suspicions.
Archdruid Revol is just standing there. Hello, Archdruid. I'm not doing anything suspicious.
All right. Time to tell the boss we lost the cat. All right. Time to tell the boss we lost the cat.
Well, now we know who we are dealing with. That is both good news and bad news.
What's the good news?
Raz knows who the thugs work for. The Tailed Tale used a members-only entrance to the local outlaws' refuge. Just inside the refuge is a gambling parlor owned by a local crime boss called Eve Grandvatch.
Why is that good news?
If Grandvatch is backing Redblade, the sharp claws of knowledge will undo them. This one has dealt with Grandvatch before. Raz will have to wear a disguise, but that is a small price to pay.
Alright, what's the bad news?
Raz mentioned another eye who fell tracking the bequest, a skilled agent named Ronia. Raz always believed Grandvatch was behind her death, but could not prove it. Her ciphered notes were never recovered. Grandvatch must have finally cracked them.
So Grandvatch and Redblade are using the spy's notes?
That is Raz's best guess. The only way we can be sure is to get in there and find out. Go. Enter the Outlaw's Refuge and make your way to the gambling parlor. This one will meet you inside, once he has donned the perfect disguise.
I'll find you in the gambling parlor, Raz.
Raz will see you inside. Keep a keen eye open. With this one's disguise, you will have a hard time recognizing Raz.
You've dealt with him before?
When we were both younger, and Eve had yet to set up his little empire. The tale features a sea serpent, an Argonian opera singer, and a relic called Ariel's lute. Ask Raz about it sometime. It's a good one.
Can you tell me more about Ronini?
Ronia was one of the very first eyes of the Queen. Raz only knew her for a few moons. She was a legend, an example for us all. Many of her missions are still kept secret to this day.
Okay. Are you ready, Joe, to be blown away by Razamdar's incredible disguise? Honestly, I might need the quest tracker just to point out who he is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell him apart any other way. Which one of these people do you think is Razamdar, Joe? Are you really kidding me, Raz?
Keep your voice down, my friend. And take a moment to appreciate this one's subtle disguise, Now let's focus. Raz heard the waitstaff say that Grandvatch's office is through the high-stakes suite. That could pose a problem.
How so?
The High Roller Suite, they call it the Patrician Suite, is for game winners only. This is where you come in. Raz has an idea. One of the games they play is Tales of Tribute. Are you familiar with this card game?
Sorry, I don't play Tales of Tribute.
Plan A will not work then. No worries. Plan B is just as good. Raz will stay here in the parlor. You head back out into the city. After a moment, Raz will cause a distraction.
Why am I going back out into the city?
The parlor is below ground, yes. But the Patrician Suite is above the parlor.
This suite should have a view of Vastir. While Raz keeps the thugs focused down here, find a way inside. Perhaps a ramp or ladder. Get creative.
Find the entrance to the suite up top and break in. Got it.
It's fun to do things the old-fashioned way. A nice change of pace.
What do you mean by the old-fashioned way?
A break-in. To go where we are not wanted. Brings Raz back to his days as a kitten. He was endlessly causing trouble for his mother. Simpler times.
You were a spy even as a kid?
Do not get this one started. Young Raz was a rapscallion. He gave Porky Dea fits, always sneaking sweet rolls and moon sugar pies from her kitchen when her back was turned. Not important. Head outside and look for a way into the suite, yes?
Well, look, all there was to do was raise moon sugar cane. I'm sure he got bored. Right, I'll see you in the suite. So I'm really glad they put an alternate solution, because if you have Tales of Tribute unlocked, you can actually play a game in Tales of Tribute over here with one of these people. And if you win the game, usually this person I think is the one that you play with. If you win the game in Tales of Tribute, you get the, that's a very lazily made Tales of Tribute board, by the way. I'm disappointed in you, Sauce. If you win the game, you just get access to it. It's like, but a game can take 20 minutes to finish, so I was really hoping I wouldn't have to play a game of Tales of Tribute to finish this. I'm really glad that if you don't have Tales of Tribute unlocked, there's a way around. Because you can get access to this DLC for free without High Isle, and if you don't have High Isle, you can't have Tales of Tribute, which means you can't play Tales of Tribute. So I'm really glad they put in an alternative solution that allows you to, beat this quest without playing Tales of Tribute, but I'm also really glad there's a in-game use for Tales of Tribute. Maybe they'll do that more in the future, where they have, Tales of Tribute as an option to solve a puzzle. Like, I like to indulge in the occasional Tales of Tribute. Why don't we play? Okay. So that's where we're going. Ah, that's how we get up there. Thank gosh I upgraded my lockpick skills. I spent countless hours stealing items and fencing them to get my lockpick up. It's like, I'm really glad that wasn't for nothing. Because, man, I hated doing lockpicking.
Let's hunker down and see what we can see.
This gambler just watched us walk right past. And not to mention these people over here. The lady, the dark elf. Yeah, not to mention those people saw us.
Where are you damnable pirate? We need to talk.
Are we going to discuss how your thugs lost track of the cat? I may need to cut you out, Grandfatch. In more ways than one.
Let's get in there. What? Ronia?
Damned cat.
Intruders! Guard! To me!
This one will grab some documents. Make tracks, Five Claw.
So long, losers.
things have taken a turn, Five Claw. Of all the places this search could have led us, Raz did not think it would be to a dead eye of the Queen. Not to Ronia.
Rolinia was the Eye of the Queen you mentioned. She didn't die?
It seems that way. This one supposes he should not be surprised. A spy faking their own death happens more often than you may think. But why? What of the treasure? This Red Blade persona? Raz smells a rotten tail lurking beneath his whiskers.
Does this change the mission?
No, not a bit. Ronia, Red Blade, whatever she calls herself now, her goal is still the same. To find the bequest, form a pirate fleet, and plunder the ports of Tamriel. We have to stop her from finding the treasure.
How are we going to find the bequest? We didn't learn anything from the Granvitch.
Ah, but during our daring escape, Raz helped himself to a few letters. It seems our friend was a prodigious scrivener. The letters may have the answers we seek.
Were you talking about Kryn Rendro when you were mentioned spies that fake their own deaths?
Kryn Rendro? Oh, Moon Sugar Biscuits. Him? What an oaf. Cariel told Raz all about your adventure at Palat. Yes, just like Kryn. Former spies become claws in the side. A saying too real by half these days.
Didn't you fake your own death that time?
No. Sometimes, little kitten, Raz must do things he does not like. Up to and including making his friends think he has died. It was just that one time, Raz thinks. Is that right?
It's just that one time, Raz thinks. Does this change the mission?
No.
Let's take a look at the letters then. Just now, kitten. It's like
Seems the crime boss has connections all around the region. Raz will pass this along when we are done here.
Vestir, we're temporarily stepping back from the normal operations here in Vestir. The contract with Red Blade is too important. Leave enough staff at the parlor to ensure security and send the rest to the dig site near Fawn's Thicket. If any of the locals get brave while our attention is elsewhere, we can deal with them after we find the bequest. Gonflin Bay, get some of the locals beating the underbrush. I think this Ascenda order is an opportunity for business. In the meantime, make sure that we keep working Darvel de Til. He is an inn we can use, just have to find the right leverage. Port hunting. We have Aglar Coldeye to thank for our newest opportunity. Let me know when the scouts return from the Carved Heels. It could be a fascinating opportunity. We need to let this play out. Abdullah's Landing, it's a mess over there. The Guild, the Iron Wheel, it's too hot by half. I'm going to pull our people back and wait for things to sort themselves out. Let's keep praying Bonnie. I was praying Bonnie to keep us in the loop, or paying Bonnie to keep us in the loop, otherwise we're done there for now. Yeah, Abdullah's Landing is a mess, and I have no intention of taking care of that on this character, because this character has no obligation to join the Thieves Guild.
Raz thinks Eve regrets going into business with
this is just a two-page letter.
Based on
Boss,
this,
I understand that
Red
these
Blade is
ridiculous
at a
pirates
dig
helped
site
us
on
get
the
started,
coast,
but they're no help at
somewhere
all
near
at the dig site. I
Fawn's
almost
Thicket.
wish they wouldn't.
Back
They
into
weren't
the
with
fray
us at
then.
Fawn's Thicket.
Raz will meet you at Fawn's Thicket, Five Claw.
Raz, I was trying to read that. I've had to send the workers back to Vestir a couple of times now because of drunken brawls. They keep getting offended because we're digging too loudly. One of them got themselves drowned in the surf by the entrance. How does a pirate drown in waist-high water? And the lady herself, Red Blade? She's always watching. She's got this very unnerving aura about her. She gives me a dark feeling. If we can get those sea dogs to hang back, we'll be down there to the treasure a lot faster. Gad. Alright, so now we have two quests leading us to Fawn's Thicket, and we have another one there. So let's go and get those sorted out. Honestly, I thought we were going to be done faster than we were, so I don't know if we'll get back to the main quest today, but you know, we've made pretty good progress today, regardless. I mean, if I can sort out 3 of the quests at Fawn's Thicket, and I've finished all the other side stuff, all we have to do is focus on the main quest starting next week. So I feel pretty good about the progress we've made. So Plus, we have all the way shrines open. We're missing 2 sky shards, but we can definitely get those as we're traveling. So, like, we're getting there. It's any new DLC is a marathon, not a sprint. Like, we're going to be, you know, taking our like. The thing is, the new DLCs take time. Like, they don't. A DLC is supposed to last for several months. Like, it's not intended to be done like all at once. Like, I mean, you can absolutely, if you just like click through the text real quick, you can get through a DLC pretty quick. But like, if you actually read all the text and listen to everything, it takes time to finish.
Do what? No, think it through. Flammable tree bark over here.
But this will go faster if we
I hope
the fire shard. More shards mean more heat and...
Ah, the adventurer returns. Bring me the fire shard and the sap, please.
Let's talk to the side people first.
I'm finally mastering this floating thing. I can mostly go where I want now. Except when the wind blows. Still need to get the hang of dealing with a strong breeze. Oh, hi! What were we talking about?
What's it like being a sprite, Upton?
On a sprite? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's not as bad as I imagined. It feels like a great weight has been lifted off of me. But that could just be that I'm so much lighter now. No flesh or bones, see? But poor Jocelyn. She looks awfully sad.
Why do you think she's sad?
Jocelyn has never been fond of nature. She prefers the indoors to outside. Hates the bugs and the dirt and the weather. I wonder if we could plant her in a building. That might make this more bearable for her. If we can't break the curse, that is.
Plant her in a building?
I hope Druid Venice knows what he's doing. Just be careful of that fire shard. I've seen what a single spark can do to a forest, and I have no desire to become a bonfire. Damn it all, I don't want to be a tree.
What's it feel like, Jocelyn?
What's it feel like? Like I'm turning into a tree! My bones are stretching. My skin has turned to bark. My feet are growing roots. If I stand still too long, I'm afraid I'm going to become planted. The druid has to break the curse. He has to!
And how's Octon doing?
Octon's a ball of light. How do you expect he's doing? He's getting more confused with every passing moment. I suppose I'd find it hard to think if all I had for a head was a pulsating sparkle. Hey, could we get on with the curse breaking now?
You gathered the fire shard and the sap from a sacred tree. Very good. Now we have what we need to perform the ritual. We just need to find the right spot to perform the ritual. And I'll need your assistance. These two are in no shape to help.
I'll help you. Where do we need to go to perform the ritual?
Not far. I'll show you. We need to go to the spot where they found the tablet. Once we return it, we can set about restoring it. The ritual won't be easy. Nothing about curses ever is. Just one more detail, and we can get on with this.
What detail is that?
The items for the ritual. Give them to me. Then I need you to go on ahead and clear a safe path to the spot I marked on your map. I'll follow with Jocelyn and Octon when the way is clear, and prepare the site for the ritual.
Alright, of course. Here, take the fire shard and the sacred sap.
Octon, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped at you. It's just... I'm scared.
Don't worry, Jocelyn. I literally forgot all about it until you just mentioned it.
Can't imagine what the worm cult...
Do you have time to help some? Well, fawns aren't exactly defenseless creatures, but they are in danger.
The fawns need help with something?
Just because they're intelligent creatures doesn't mean that they don't need help. The herd is suffering because a wolf pack moved in. The great beasts are eating every creature in sight. It's only a matter of time before they eat the fawns too.
So you want me to get rid of the wolves?
No, definitely not. I want someone to take these fast-growing seeds and plant them throughout Fawn's thicket. Fawns love the taste of the berries, but wolves can't stand them. I can offer a reward if you're inclined to assist
Evely,
me.
you mean? Well, we can find out pretty easily. Well, she's a wood elf, so it might be coincidence, but hold on. I don't know. The role is uncredited, so there's no credit to the role. So if she is playing this character too, she's not credited for it. I'll help you plant seeds in Fawn's Thicket.
I'll mark the places in Fawn's Thicket where you should plant the seeds. Once the fawns start eating, the wolves won't go near them. They really can't stand the smell. We'll be planting seeds as well, but we'll stop by to see how you're doing.
Why do you care about protecting these fawns?
The fawn herd has lived in this location since before druids settled on Galen. Even Druid Medena chose this thicket to study them. Besides, I adore them. They're smart and playful, like little Mohair here. Oh, watch out, he might try to eat your pack.
Who is Druid Medena?
You haven't heard of her? She inspired me to become a druid. She's an elder now, but in her youth, she came here to study the fawns. She learned so much about them, how they interact and how clever they are. Her love of fawns became mine.
Let's see, why did you want to study the fawns?
The truth is, until she came here, no one knew much about fawns. They were mainly seen as cunning pests. She was the first druid to really delve into how the herds worked. I believe her efforts resulted in fewer fawn deaths and deeper understanding.
You're a druid?
I know what you're thinking. How did a wood elf become a Stone Lord druid? I wasn't satisfied with just following the Green Pact. It wasn't enough. So, I came to Galen to find myself. Turns out, I fell right in with the Stone Lord Circle.
Why did you choose the Stone Lord Circle?
They were the only ones who would talk to me at first. The other circles don't like outsiders. Even now, they struggle to accept that I'm one of them. Still, I've gotten good at convincing the Elder Tide not to attack me. And having Mohair helps.
Let's see. Why do you have Mohar with you?
There was an incident with his herd. The guards outside Vastia thought that the local fawns were attacking them. They weren't. Still, Mohair was the only survivor.
Can't you give him to a new herd?
Fawn herds are close-knit families. They wouldn't just accept an outsider, especially not one who's small or weak. Still, Mohair helps me convince stubborn outsiders that fawns aren't terrible creatures. He's like an ambassador to man and Mer.
So he sees you as his mother?
I'm probably more like a bossy sister. We get along, but he still tries to irk me when he's bored. I keep him out of danger, but I can't control him. Especially at this age. He's more rebellious than I was in my youth.
Fawn's Thicket. The Fawn's Thicket herd is rowdy. They play and hunt throughout the day, and they bray for most of the night. Did Yifrey have to make Fawn so noisy? Every fawn we've ever met before has been hostile on sight, but these fawns are actually pretty nice.
Glad you made it, Five Claw. Frost thinks we should split up. The letters mentioned water, so let's head for the far side of the thicket. See you there.
Alright, well, we'll go this way first.
Great work.
Stop ignoring us, Fennis. We want to help.
This is where Octon found and broke the tablet. We'll perform the ritual here. Let me see. Fire shards, sap, and tablet pieces. Everything's in order. Oh yes, I almost forgot about the warning.
The warning?
Druid decorum requires that I fully disclose the potential dangers, no matter how unlikely, to any non-druids taking part in a complex and somewhat lethal ritual. So you must do exactly as I say. One wrong move and...
One wrong move and what?
And we could be afflicted with the same curse that has befallen Jocelyn and Octon. The odds of that happening are infinitesimal, but I feel obliged to warn you just the same. Now, are you ready to begin?
I guess so. What do you need me to do?
Start by setting the fire shard ablaze. Good. Now, heat the sap. Now the most important step. Apply the heated sap to the broken tablet. Follow my instructions precisely.
Well, that's what I was trying to do.
Well done, my... Wait. Why haven't they turned back?
Something go wrong?
You performed the ritual perfectly. The curse should have been lifted. Jocelyn and Octon should be back to their old selves by now. Unless... Oh no. The word I was having trouble translating. I know what it means now.
What are you talking about?
The tablet. The part I couldn't translate. Now that the tablet is whole, I see it. In fire and foliage born, what is broken, only one to restore. It rhymes better in Old Druidic. Don't you see? We can lift the curse, but only for one of them.
How do we choose who to restore?
I leave that to you. I must keep the power of the ritual flowing until a choice is made. Talk to both of them, then decide. Will we restore Jocelyn or Octon to their original forms?
Okay, we're going to talk to both of them before we make the decision. So, first things first, Jocelyn.
What did the druid say? Only one of us can be saved? Why is this happening to us? We were just trying to earn a living.
Yes, Druid Finnis says only one of you can be saved. He wants me to choose.
That's so unfair. I don't want to be a tree. Well, if only one of us can have our life back, I want you to choose Octon. He's too smart to let his mind turn to mush or light or whatever. Just don't tell him. I'm scared.
Hi, good to see you again. Why does Jocelyn look so glum? Oh, wait a moment. I remember. The ritual. Something went wrong, didn't it? I knew we wouldn't get out of this that easily.
Druid Finnis says only one of you can be saved. He wants me to choose.
Only one? One what? Oh, that's not fair. I'm pretty sure neither of us wants to stay cursed. Well, if you can only choose one, you have to choose Jocelyn. She doesn't deserve to suffer because I made a mistake. Besides, this isn't so bad.
I mean, you're literally losing your mind, but... Alright, we have a decision. Do we save Jocelyn or do we save Octon? To recount, both of them came into the forest to steal. Octon broke the tablet, causing both of them to be cursed. We'll give it until the 24-minute mark. If there's no response, we'll handle this the old-fashioned way, with a D20. Because I saved Jocelyn on my main character, so since Octon doesn't mind so much, it was his mistake, and poor Jocelyn is scared. Save her. Okay. Okay, Jocelyn.
What did the druid? That's
I
so
choose
unfair.
you, Jocelyn. Touch the tablet.
I don't want to be... Quickly, please, save Octon too.
I cannot. The ritual has run its course.
Octon can't speak anymore. He's gone.
What did you do? I told you to choose Octon. How could you make him stay like that? He's too smart and funny to spend the rest of his life as a signal flare.
A signal flare? I can only choose one of you, Jocelyn. I chose you.
Oh, my poor I fix this? Ogden was the brains and... No, I'll figure something out. I have to. Here, I said I settle my debts and I meant it. You saved me and I do appreciate that. I'll find a way to do the same for Ogden. Somehow. What am I going to tell my aunt? And how am I going to keep Ogden from drifting away in a strong breeze? I'll have to get Druid Fennis to help. We'll work together and we'll figure something out. I'll fix Ogden. Somehow.
You really think you can restore him?
Not on my own. I'm not a scholar or a mage, but with Druid Fennis to help me, we'll find a way to restore my cousin to his rightful form. Look, I know you were put into an impossible situation. Thanks again for making me not a tree.
Well, good luck, Jocelyn.
Luck won't be a factor. This is a job for skill. My skill as a procurer of things that aren't mine. And Druid Fennis' skill as a... well, as a druid. I owe my cousin everything. This is my responsibility now, and I mean to live up to it.
I kind of wonder if Ogden would be a better choice, because I think he would be more likely to be able to save his cousin. So.
I swear it.
I know Jocelyn is angry. She really wanted us to save her cousin, but you made the right choice. As much as I adore the green, she would have made a very bad
She's made a very bad tree.
I'll do what I can, but I don't sense Ogden's mind inside the light anymore.
So there's no chance for restoring Ogden?
There is always a chance, my friend. Anything is possible, as long as we have faith. I'll do what I can. Study the tablet some more. Consult with the Stonelore Elders and Archdruids. We may find a way to help Ogden. Eventually.
There may be a problem with consulting with the Archdruid of the... Yeah, that might actually be a problem. Oh, I can't mount here. Duh, because we're in a delve. You see, there's this thing called the Fire Songs, and they killed a whole bunch of the Archdruids. It happened, like, near the ending of the last episode. Yeah. I definitely don't think we're going to get any main story progress done today, unfortunately. But what we'll do is, once we finish these series of quests, we'll jump into Bloody Reunion and get that done, and then when we come back next week, we'll be focused solely on doing the main quest. We'll see how far we can get in 3 hours, so. I just have to find a way up. That's the main problem here. Ah, here we go. I should probably bring Isabel back out. Man, the God rays are really strong here. Alright, we'll need to go back around and up to get back to where we were. It's a colossal Spriggan. Ah, it's a big Spriggan. Somebody's been drinking her milk.
This spot is even nicer than I expected. Let me check on the berries.
Really? I have an 85% chance to pop it.
Aww. Look how happy Mohair is.
On my honor.
Didn't I just wipe you guys out? You know, the longer and longer I play ESO, the more I relate to Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles. You know, when he was like, I just saved this world and now it's all a mess again. Well, that's kind of how I feel in Tamriel. Like, I saved Tamriel, and then the next thing you know, it's immediately being, you know, on the brink of being destroyed all over again.
Younger fawns play up here. They'll love these berries. Yes! The fruit is starting to bud. How exciting! Let's regroup outside Fawn's. Leave the herd to find the berries on their own.
That was it, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Beautiful phoenix moth. I actually have one of these of my own.
This must be it. Let's get inside. Ronia must be here somewhere. And likely she's not alone. Time to put on our serious faces, my friend.
That was it, right?
I already had my serious face on, Ross.
Look at that ship. It must be the vessel that carried the Aquilarius bequest years ago. We need a plan, Five Claw. Luckily, Ross came with one prepared.
What are you thinking, Ross?
We must get dramatic. We collapse the cavern, bury the ship, and deny the world the Aquilarius bequest. There's enough stone in this cavern to ensure this treasure is never, ever found. What do you think?
Why bury the treasure? Isn't that a lot of gold to give up?
Eve didn't exactly impress Raz with the quality of his operation. Who knows how many people are aware of this place? And if the Covenant, the Pact, or even the Dominion found out, Galen could become a new front in the Three Banners War.
Alright, how do we collapse the cavern?
Raz hung back in Vastir to get these. Some alchemical charges. He had them made specially by a Vindusk Ranger for an operation that never happened. Look for the pillars holding up the ceiling. Place one on each, and when we're ready, boom!
One charge per pillar, got it.
Raz will place the charges this way.
Roz, can we possibly go somewhere without blowing it up? Is that too much to ask?
Belongs to Captain
Hello, Captain Redblade. Serve me.
I'm right here. Stay focused.
Traitor to the Queen, fall.
Ugh. Damn you, cat.
Alright, now we need to make tracks because this place is about to come down on our heads. Let's go, Roz.
Move your paws and let's get out of here.
Stendarr, keep us safe. Your children walk a dangerous path.
It's done, Five Claw. Whew. The Aquilarios bequest is buried for good. And you saw to it that Ronia, that Red Blade, won't be sailing the Abyssion ever again. Raz could use a break.
What happens now, Raz?
First, Raz will sleep for a week. Then he will report to the Queen. This one thinks he may just leave Ronia's name out of his report. But you, Five Claw, are someone worth mentioning. Here, as promised, your reward. Moons keep you safe.
I feel like the Queen should know about the...
Who knows? Perhaps Raz will meet a nice druid boy while he is here. This one likes plans as much as the next Khajiit. Galen really is quite beautiful, yes?
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions before you rest?
Of course, of course. You would think Raz was going to curl up and fall asleep right here at your feet. Huh. Actually, that is not a bad idea.
Do you really think people would stop looking for the treasure?
Raz hopes so, Five Claw. Most folk believe the treasure was just a story anyway. And if anyone follows hints from Vastir to the caves, well, they'll have to dig out a mountainside for even a handful of coins. In this one's opinion, a job well done.
How did it feel having to deal with a former eye like that?
Not great, kitten, not great. Raz wishes he could say he was even surprised, but he's not. This war. Raz knows in his heart the Dominion is on the right side of things, but it has gone on so long, and so things like this will continue to happen.
What are the eyes of the Queen up to these days?
To tell you the truth, Raz is not sure. He hasn't spoken to Cariel, Egranor, or Raz Lai in some time. Perhaps it's time we had a get-together. We will charge it to the crown, of course.
I better get invited to this party, Razumdar. Take care of yourself, Razumdar. After all, I too am an Eye of the Queen. It's actually true. Like, before, there was never an official title to mark you as an Eye of the Queen. Now we have Eye of the Queen as a title. Long overdue. We should have gotten that in the base game. I'm not going to complain now that we have it, but like I feel like that's definitely something we should have been given from the start. I'm going to take the quick door out of here and kill myself to allow myself to have a quick exit. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Mohair is really excited. He kept running to each of the berry plants and back to me. I'm pretty sure there are more brambles in his fur than I've ever seen before. You made this little fawn very happy. And the herd too, I suspect.
Will the fires be safe from the wolf pack now?
Did you hear that fawn's joyful bray? Happy fawns are hungry fawns, and they'll discover the plants soon enough. Once the berries become part of their diet, the wolves will leave them alone. Here, my purse isn't large, but you helped save this herd. Thank you again for your help. I can't abide preventable deaths, but now I won't have to imagine fawns like little Mohair here getting gobbled up by a hungry wolf.
Okay.
Right, Mohair? Want to say goodbye to the herd before we leave?
Alrighty.
I keep hoping he'll rejoin a herd, but he always comes back to me.
On my honor.
Like I said, I think we've done as much as we're going to get done in the main story today, so we're going to go and do Bloody Reunion and get that done. Then we'll stop for today, and then we'll pick up with the main story next week, and we'll just push for 3 straight hours of the main story. If we don't finish, we don't finish. If we do, you know, then we're done, and we can go back to Skyrim the week after. So we'll just have to see. So we are going to take a quick trip to Western Skyrim. Okay, we go up here, Crown Store, and we'll purchase Bloody Reunion. Talk to Mill Adrius. For anyone who is unfamiliar with who this is a vampire hunter that we met during the Green Shade storyline. And I pointed out earlier in the year that you should keep an eye on that character because I was sure he was going to come back, and sure enough, he's back for this event that's going on right now for Western Skyrim. Oh, I should probably, because I'm a lizard. Yeah, put on my my Skyrim armor. This is Mill's journal. I'm just gonna, like, if you want, you can pause and flip through here. I'm just gonna pause on the screen briefly to get each one. I'm not gonna read through this. This is actually quite a bit of information, so. Mill.
Ah, traveler, we meet again. It's nice to see a friendly face for a change. My last few visitors were intent on tasting my blood.
I saw your notice. What are you doing here?
I was on a hunt when I received word that the Grey Host had overrun these lands. An army of parasites from out of the past. Even the dregs have proven to be a worthy challenge. But a true hunter does not shrink from danger.
You're battling the Grey Host?
I'm tracking several scions of the host in hopes to find one vampire in particular. They will all be ash when I am through. Will you join the hunt? I've had a few close calls. I wouldn't turn away an able adventurer such as yourself.
All right, let's hunt some vampires.
Familiarize yourself with the map over there. I've heard rumors of unwary travelers being used in dark rituals, drained of blood. Mark the locations well, and then the hunt begins.
How have you been, Mel?
I am well enough. Since our last encounter, my travels have taken me across the length and breadth of Tamriel. My mortal need for rest always gives my prey the advantage. Still, I try my best.
Some vampires aren't so bad.
I suppose you are correct. I've heard rumors of entire clans turning against their more bloodthirsty brethren. That said, I would not advise relying on a vampire's charity. They cannot be trusted.
Would you be willing to even accept a vampire as an ally?
Perhaps. I've grown to understand these fiends well. Some, especially in the beginning,
try to control their hunger. But sooner or later, their cruel nature asserts itself. The blood craze is an affliction, and I am the cure.
You're tracking a Pacific vampire?
Every vampire leaves a trail of blood and sorrow in its wake. Some more than others. There is a beast nestled somewhere in the belly of Western Skyrim. I will find him and pull him wriggling into the purifying light of day.
Sounds as if this hunt is personal.
Every hunt is personal. But yes, the end to this pursuit will manifest a deep satisfaction within my very soul. Our strike will catch them off guard. You assault one ritual site, and I will handle the other. I shall find you when this grim work is finished.
Okay, it doesn't matter which ritual site we go to, so I'm just going to go to the one on the, I'm just going to go to the one on the left side of the map up here. Hold on, I'll show you where. Right. Wait, that can't be right. No, that's something different. Right here. We'll go to this one right here. So I will jump over to this way shrine. Man, there's a very convenient Hero Storm there. I'm gonna have to do a Hero Storm later for this quest, so I was hoping that that one would be the one I get to do because it's really close, but it looks like not, because it probably won't be back up again by the time I get to that part of the quest, because this actually goes fairly quickly now that I know how to do it.
A birdie. This one seemed delectable. So be it.
Please, end my pain, and let the pale worm choke on his next meal.
My apologies, friend. I hope you rest well.
It seems we both met with some tragedy. Come, let's talk. Good to see you again, Hunter. Pity we could not save them. But then every victory against the host extracts a toll.
On you as well, it seems. Are you alright?
I located a ritual site and made my approach by stealth, planning to simply wait and watch. Then they brought out a young boy as the focus for their next ceremony. Rescuing the lad while fighting off the horde proved taxing. I need to rest.
Before they died, the ritual victim called the vampire the Pale Worm.
Yes, yes. Then we are hot on the beast's trail. Good. I must return to camp. I can treat my wound and make further inquiries. You must continue our campaign. Do not allow these undying monstrosities even a moment to regroup.
What do you need me to do?
Several powerful Leech Lords still hold sway in the dungeons and night-shrouded caverns of Western Skyrim and the Reach. Seek them out, ready your blade, and strike. The more powerful your choice of prey, the better.
I'll see it done, Mel. So you can pick any world boss, or sorry, any public dungeon boss or final boss in a delve. There is a delve just nearby. We're gonna hop over there and run through it real quick. I've run through that dungeon so many times I could probably do it blindfolded. I wouldn't say it's the easiest dungeon to run through, but it's like the most convenient because it's literally just around the corner.
What do you think we'll find around the next corner?
Yeah, I'm surprised this isn't a place we come to in Skyrim. Like, do you remember a place called Dragonhome by any chance, Joe? Wait, is this where we get the jagged crown from? No, I don't think so. This, for a second I thought maybe this looked familiar. No, it doesn't.
I take no pleasure in killing, but I'm glad we're alive and they're not. Stow your weapons, my friend. We've won.
We're going to go a little bit over today, and I apologize for that, but it's not going to be long over, maybe 10 minutes at most, but we are going to go just a little bit over today.
You cannot stop us. Dragons will once again rule the sky.
Steady on. Shake it off.
I feel the same.
Stendar was with us in that fight.
Man, it's been several years since Reewish has been here. Reewish came here a long time ago, back when Western Skyrim first came out. So, I say a long time ago, but it was 3 years ago. Or 2 years ago, actually.
That's quite the haul there.
Alright, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we'll be doing a Harrow Storm, and then after the Harrow Storm, we'll be actually fighting the Pale Worm. So we're not too far away from being complete. Just there's a lot of back and forth in this quest for some reason.
An aura of death precedes you. I can only assume your hunt went well. My informants tell me the rank and file of the Grey Host shudder as tales of a mortal hunter swirl through their midst. You have done well. You have delivered them fear.
I did as you asked.
Excellent. Thanks to you, I was able to rest, recover, and continue the search for my prey. Unfortunately, the Harrow storms that plague the region shroud his presence. What comes next, we must do together.
What's your plan?
The Harrow storms are necrotic tempests of incredible power. They scour life from the land and make following the trail my quarry has left behind quite difficult. If we are going to locate the blood leech I seek, we must destroy one. Together.
I'm ready if you are.
Your bravery is an encouraging mixture of steel and ignorance. I respect it. Seek out a storm. I will join you. And perhaps finally my blade's thirst will be slaked.
See you there, Mel.
Locate a Harrow storm and begin your assault. I will join the fray. Flank them while they're distracted. Good hunting, partner.
You're after the Pale Worm, aren't you?
I am not yet ready to discuss that creature. For now, know that my campaign has cost me dearly. Most days, the price is one I am willing to pay. Sometimes the toll seems too high. Even for me.
He's definitely getting up there in age. I wonder if I'll make it to that one before it closes. We'll have to try and see. We probably won't make it, but we'll try, so. One, two, three, right here. I feel the same. I tell you when you never would. Nope, it's already finished. Okay, which one's going to be next is the question. There's always one storm going on above ground and one storm going on below ground. So there it is. Oh, it's the one right nearby. Okay, we're heading there right away. It hasn't even triggered yet. We should be able to make it right as it's beginning. There it comes. The Harrow Storm. Still one of the hardest events that goes on in the world currently. Like, these are no joke. Like, if you get enough people here, they go fairly quickly, but you do not underestimate a Harrow Storm. You cannot solo a Harrow Storm. I don't care how good of a player you are, it is legitimately impossible. There's just too many enemies, too much going on. The little blue spirits heal the witch pikes, and if you die, the witch pikes respawn. So It's just like, I mean, maybe if you were like a nearly undestroyable tank, but the problem is you wouldn't be able to do enough damage to destroy the witch pike on your own, because it would just keep healing. So. And DPS are just far too fragile.
Irritating. Nothing more. Enough! The other storms. You won't live to see them.
Yeah, the only reason I can do this right now is because there's an event going on.
Scores all around us, and only our valor to carry the day.
The other Harrow storms. You'll never stop them all.
If there wasn't an event, there wouldn't be enough people at this Harrow Storm to get it done. Like, nobody does Harrow Storms anymore unless there's an event going on for them, so. Which I can't really blame them for. Most people have all of the stuff from Harrow Storms anyways, so it's like, why continue to do something that you've already collected the needed materials from, so, or needed stuff from. Like dragon hunting. Dragon hunting is always one of those mixed bags, whether you can do it or not.
With the Harrow Storm cleared, my hunt nears an end. I've scried the location of the Pale Worm, the vampire lord you glimpsed at the ritual site. As you've no doubt surmised, tracking the worm is what brought me to Skyrim.
Tell me the story, Mel. I think I've earned that.
Very well. As they say in adventure novels for the indolent, would you like the long version or the short?
Would you like the long version or the short version, Joe?
You should know, my family is of no great import. Some minor nobles in a Deshawn village, a cousin in the Fighters Guild. That is the extent of our legacy. A ripple in the ocean of time.
You're fairly memorable, Mel.
Yes, well, in truth, my campaign is a stain on the Adris family honor. I tried as best I could to maintain a respectful distance. Unfortunately, my nephew, Neras, became aware of my quest. Veleth, forgive me, he chose to follow in my footsteps.
I take it did not go well?
You are correct. He fell prey to the blood years ago. I tried to track him, to end him. But for years I heard nothing but silence. Then, news. The dark knowledge that Neras had transformed. Metastasized.
Into the Pale Worm.
Yes. Here, I shall mark your map with the location of his most recent feeding. I will meet you there. Thank you, Hunter. Know that when the worm is ash, some small amount of my pain will be healed.
I'll see you there, Mel.
Let's go.
Reach the lair of the Pale Worm, which would probably be faster if I took the Way Shrine. Whoops. See, there's something that I haven't been able to replicate on any of my other characters. when I was talking to Mel as my main character, I got to talk to him about his father. I didn't see that option as Reewish. Did I skip an option or something? I don't know. But none of my other characters have had that option. Only my main character has. I suspect maybe it's because I've done a quest on my main character that my other characters haven't done. Because there's actually another quest that involves him that I had forgotten about until recently. On the Gold Coast in one of the delves, there's a vampire lord that you hunt with him. Maybe you have to have done that quest to unlock that part of the dialogue. I don't know, so...
Hunter, this is where the worm most recently fed. A simple enchantment should lead us to the entrance to his lair. Come, this way.
I can only imagine what it's going to do to him to have to kill his sibling's child.
I shall open the way. Be ready, Hunter. He's close. Follow me.
Yeah, so he then teleports up here, and we have to go all the way around to get up there, which the game does not tell you, unfortunately.
We've got this.
I'm glad there's other players here. This guy's actually kind of tough.
Stop!
The family
He won't
failure.
This way!
I look forward to bathing in your blood.
I'm sorry, Nearest. I let you down once. I will not do so again. Is this your best? No wonder you flee at my... Keep him busy while I prepare something special for the occasion.
What have I faced, Hunter? The lot of my blood will make me so much stronger. Hope is lost. Embrace your despair. Your stubbornness is misguided. I will have your blood.
Any
It's
battle
done.
we can walk
Thank
away
you,
from,
Hunter.
eh?
I will ensure his remains are scattered. I'll meet you back at camp.
Shoot. We'll just teleport. Oh, there's a way shrine just down here. Let's go to that.
Nearus is dead. The pale worm is ash. And my quest here is at an end.
We made a good team.
I suppose we did. I'm not accustomed to working alongside a partner. But your presence made this dark journey through these unhallowed lands just a little bit easier. Thank you.
What's next for you, Mel?
I owe my family an explanation. I will return to the ash and sullen skies of my homeland. Perhaps my words will help. The knowledge that Nearus is laid to rest will ease the suffering I've caused.
And we've made Skyrim a little bit safer.
For now. But while the pale worm is dead, another vampire lord will appear to take his place. That is the way of things. And when evil steps from the shadows, my blade shall be ready to greet it.
Goodbye, Mel. Alright, and guys, that is the end of the Holiday Quest Bloody Reunion, and my armor's in awful shape, so I'm definitely going to have to get that fixed between now and the next session. I still have a plunder skull? What in the world? What am I doing? Alright. Oh, I definitely need to do that that survey. That's actually really good. Anyways, I will see you guys next week as we continue the main story of Firesong. So I will be returning to Galen as soon as the stream is done. We will pick up with the main story, and we will try to get as much finished as we can. If we can finish, we will. If not, you know, no biggie. I'm hoping that ZOS will be dropping their teaser for 2023 soon, and we'll have a little chat about that when that happens, and the potential future for Elder Scrolls Online. I kind of have a mixed bag, because I'm just going to rant for a minute. The side features have been getting worse. Like, the companions are okay. They're not great. They weren't great. Miri and Bastion were both annoying, and they honestly weren't that good at combat. Isabel and Ember are exceptional. Like, they can take down enemies by themselves. Miri and Bastion can't even beat one enemy by themselves. Isabel, on the occasion, will take down 3 single-handed. Like, Isabel is so much stronger than Miri ever was. And she's set up as a tank. Like, I have her set as a tank, and she can take down 3 enemies by herself. Like, it's ridiculous. But it's just, ZOS has felt like they've kind of been rolling back on their scale of their updates ever since Elsewhere. Like, Elsewhere was the last, like, really big update. And we got a new class, we got the dragons, we got all sorts of cool stuff. And then there's, like, Skyrim sort of felt like they were dialing it back quite a bit. But, like, I'm hoping that next year they'll roll out something big and they'll keep us happy. And everyone will go back to liking the game and stop complaining about the game all the time. Because I'm kind of getting tired of all the complaints about the game, honestly. Because the story is still exceptional. It's like, the thing is, like, yeah, the side gameplay stuff has gone down, but the story is still really good. Like, just, like, look at the story behind the Legacy of the Bretons, and you can't tell me that's not a good story. Just, give me your meat, thank you. Like, I don't know, I feel like the story is still, like, really good, but everything else is kind of going downhill a bit. Like, as long as they continue to make good story and the game is still fun, I'm going to continue to play it. I'm not going to stop playing Elder Scrolls Online anytime in the near future, most likely. As, you know, like I said, as long as the story isn't just completely abandoned. If they abandon the story and make it something completely dumb, I might have to consider, like, stopping playing, but at least for the foreseeable future, I don't think that's going to happen. I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you very much and have a good one. Bye.